I got some messages from people. Most of the time I ignore it, but I got a message from a guy that I considered a friend named Isaac Pedroza. He's a guy that grew up in the SGV out of Lomas. He's a former now, and he's one that has turned his life to God. He's very active in the church. He got married, has kids. He's a family man, but he sent me a message saying that basically it goes both ways, meaning that there are blacks that are anti-Mexican and there are Mexicans that are anti-black. And I was thinking maybe we should get him on the phone, let him tap in and express express from his perspective. So if we can get Isaac Pedroza on the line, we could have this conversation. And I didn't want to read his email because I'm not sure if this was something he wanted to just keep private between you and me. I didn't get permission from him to read it, but we'll just get him.
You asked permission to call him?
I did.
Oh, okay. I thought you was finna, I was like, whoa, okay.
No, I don't be blindsiding people.
Okay.
I definitely let him know we will call, and he agreed. So hopefully he answered the phone.
Nope.
Isaac Pedroza.
Yes, sir.
Alex Alonso here, and I got Spider Loc sitting next to me with Munchie B, and we're on an episode of Straight Politicking, and we just talked about the whole Tortilla Flats thing. I mentioned the email you sent me. I didn't read the email because I wasn't sure if this was something that you wanted to keep private between you and me, so I decided let's just call you directly to get your whole perspective on this black-brown, quote-unquote, conflict that we have been talking about for the last couple episodes.
Okay. Let's do it.
Well, I want to start off by you responded. You sent me an email basically with a photo of a black gang in Compton that wrote wetbacks, and
Yeah.
I think you're trying to. The point is, it goes both ways, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. The whole point is that this has existed for a long time, and I had a J number, J87430. So I was in and out of the system, county jail at 16, went to prison at 17, level fours, all that. And so I have experience, I've witnessed all of this as well as, Spider and Munchie. But the point I'm making is that we all know that certain individuals, they just have that, whatever it is that hate, that whatever it is, that racial hate. But this also it's a gang, it's a neighborhood thing. And the more people kind of inflate it and bring it to the, awareness of the people, it just makes it more, how do you say it, like I said, it brings more awareness, and it kind of is like throwing fire it's like throwing gas in the fire, pretty much, So I've been in riots behind this racist, what I mean, hearing the word wetback, and we know, like I said, it goes both ways, and I know that the homies, they tend to go hard, but where we are currently right now, I think there's been a lot of progress, and this is a isolated thing that should stay like that. And I believe Munchie mentioned it in the last episode. I think that it's really a neighborhood thing. You expect that. He
did say it was gangbanging, but he did acknowledge that Compton Vadio was Compton Vadio Tortilla Flats was NK. Am I correct about that, Munchie?
Well, yeah, I know that to be fact. You know what I'm saying? They going in and out the system, juvenile hall, you know what I'm saying? And I spent a lot of time in Compton. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that we know the past. We already know that, right? But I personally, I haven't heard of no NK stuff recently, but the point is that it's bringing. I want to give you guys an example. Like, I seen this dude, he's from Hoover. I won't say his name. You guys probably know who he is.
You talking about Damian Porter?
Yeah. So that guy, shout out to him. He's standing up for his people, and I understand that. But if you go look at his response, it's almost as if he's inciting his people, to pretty much go to war. And so we already And when I say we, I say collectively, blacks, Mexicans. We already did all that.
Okay, but
You know what I'm saying?
let's talk about the war. Over the last 20 years, who has been victimized more so in this hate conflict?
Oh, well,
I sent you an email where I gave you
yeah, I don't
specific
refute that.
cases. Okay,
Nah, I'm not in dispute of that. I'm pretty well aware of that.
and I just want the listeners to know that I sent you an email where we talked about documented cases, avenues, Canoga Park, Alabama, 204th Street, Hawaiian Gardens, Boyle Heights. I guess that's just gangbanging when you throw gas on someone's front door because they're black and you don't want them to live there anymore. We're just gonna reduce that to gangbanging. They went to prison in like 2012.
No. Like I said, bro, we that's already we already know. Well, I responded to that email and I said, so are we just gonna ignore the other issues, like for example that picture, or are we gonna just go, oh look at how bad these Mexicans are, look at how, you know what I mean,
You talking
like
about the
that,
wetbacks graffiti
yeah,
picture?
like stuff like that. Another thing is we don't even know if these things are legit, like like they supposedly there was a threat or something like that. Like you don't know where that's coming from. You got to consider that too. And just like the writing, we know pretty much that it probably was one of them, but there's a chance that it wasn't. But my point is that because of the peace and all that, even with the blacks, with the Pyrus, everybody, there's gonna be people that are trying to disrupt that.
Okay, so how do we move
They,
forward? How do we move forward from this? Because it doesn't seem like anybody from La Raza is going to
well, I
agree
believe. Well,
that.
that's because it's hard to go. Here's the thing: when you got a neighborhood, you can't. It's not the same as like say what happened with the Florence and Spider's neighborhood. You know that you had specific people coming together and coming to an agreement. Unless you have someone like that in that neighborhood, it's kind of hard. You know, and honestly, after all this, like you know, throughout the years, me personally, I'm starting to feel like like the Lord is calling me, bro, to get involved in working with, you know, just doing the work. You know, we need more homies getting involved doing that kind of work, and a lot of people, of course, they're not gonna want to get involved.
But
You know, there's a
your position is that it's pretty much both sides. Our hands are dirty. That it's equal hate on both sides. And
no. I never said it's equal
okay,
hate. I did say, well, I would say yes. The as far as the hate. As far as what has transpired, no, it hasn't been equal.
how many blacks have been indicted for hating on Mexicans in the last
I
20
don't know.
years?
You're the expert.
Well,
You bring out the numbers.
you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. How many black
No,
gang members have been indicted for doing
I
something?
never said anybody was indicted for that, but they don't have to be indicted. You're going to tell me that nobody's ever did that with that intention?
Well,
Just because maybe they weren't caught.
okay,
What if
but
they
in
weren't caught?
20 years, we got the federal government, the most powerful government on earth, has already indicted like 10 Mexican gangs for hate crimes.
I know that, bro. You keep bringing that up,
Okay,
but my point is that we already know that. I'm not defending that position that, oh no, it's all even, and I'm not speaking for that. What I'm speaking is, as of now, where do we go now? And when we have things like the things that you post, you know, that I believe does more harm than good. That was just my point. And I don't see you as someone like that.
All right,
I sat down and had lunch with you. I consider you not a close friend, but a friend. But you know, that's why I responded like that. Like, hold up.
All right, I want to let Spider jump in real quick and say what he had to say.
Hello,
Okay.
how you doing, Isaac?
What's up, brother? What's up, Spider?
Got it. I consider us peers. I too have a J number, J71956. So
yes, sir.
I feel like we from the same era.
Yep.
One thing I would like to say in general, when you spoke to the fact that we addressed the mural being defamed and all that is bringing probably the wrong light to the situation. When Nipsey Hussle's mural gets defamed, we discussed that as well. And we discussed whatever, you know, politics or parallel issues come connected with that, not just to highlight that the fact that Red Rags did it. We do it because it's just something that happened in our culture. So us speaking on the Kendrick mural being defaced, we have no racial intention initially. Had a white boy did it, a Crip, another blood, we would have still reacted to the mural being defaced. Just so happened it has the ramifications that it does. So it's not like we're trying to throw the flame on the fire. These are headlines that are very popular in our culture, and we react to the majority of those. And this just happens to be one of those. It's not us attempting. And what we were trying to wonder is, I can just recall a comparison when there were Hispanic vendors being violated by members of our community. People from your community had no problem speaking up and kind of like questioning us for a response. And we were just kind of wondering why we didn't hear a similar sentiment coming from, you know, when we had the pop out, Icon went viral for feeling unincluded. So if the whole spirit of everything is embraced, we just thought that someone in the public eye would speak against it a little more.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And the Icon thing, that was a personal thing. That was a personal thing. And I know I wasn't really speaking about you guys talking about the mural thing. I was talking about more specifically Alex and what he was saying in his post. I know you guys, it's already out there, right? The video went viral. Everybody's speaking on it. And you guys are pretty much probably more qualified than anybody to speak on it, right? Unless someone from Compton. But nah, man, I completely understand. There are certain things that I believe we can do, you know, any of us to kind of inadvertently cause more harm than good. And so that was my point to Alex. You know, that was my point to Alex is that, hey, we need to be more responsible with with the platforms that we have. And that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean that he has to follow that. I'm just saying I felt, you know, since I have that connection with him, I'm gonna go ahead and respond to that.
Well, let me read that post because I put it on the community tab on the YouTube channel, and I put, is Compton Vadio Tortilla Flats gang an admitted NIGGER killer gang? ? Recently posted a video and inserted photos of NK that were taken in 2000 or 2001.
Old.
Here is a case from 2009, and I put another where a Tortilla Flats were identified as NK. Are they not an NK gang anymore? ?
My point is, why would you post that? That's my point. You're referring to something that's damn near 24, 23 years old, bro. And we already know. Nobody's disputing.
Okay, so are you saying that Compton Vadio Tortilla Flats is not an NK gang? They don't write it.
No,
they don't push
I'm not
it.
saying that. No, I don't know. I'm not inside the. I'm not from Compton. I'm not speaking on their behalf. I'm just speaking in general. We're having the conversation, and what I'm saying is, when you make a post like that, you're bringing all this old stuff up. Nobody's refuting that. We all know that goes without being said. My point is that if you, especially you've been involved in some of this peace stuff, and I love that, man. So salute to that. You know, I've been pretty vocal on the Mexican side. A lot of guys don't hear about me because, you know, I'm a believer and all that, and they might think I don't have a say in it. But man, my whole life, bro, is immersed in LA. I love LA. You know, born and raised, and I love my people, and I love blacks. I love the black. I've learned probably more from blacks than I have from my own people. You know, so I understand. You know, I understand. My point is that if you have that a platform, you have that responsibility to kind of like, you know what, maybe this isn't too wise. That's why I said you should have used a little bit more wisdom.
Okay, so
that was my point.
If I want to talk about racism in Los Angeles and how segregated communities are, I can't go talk about the residential segregation that started in the early 1900s because it's old.
No, you could do whatever you want.
I'm just saying,
what I'm saying is, if you're involved in the peace, if you're involved in this peace stuff, you should use a little bit more wisdom and not post some 23, 24-year-old stuff. This is, you know, that this is different, bro. You could talk about something. Yeah, that's different. This is something that could potentially, you know, it can unfold in ways that we all probably wouldn't want to, right?
Wait.
But
I don't know that it's different. I just asked you if they're still NK or not, and you said you don't know.
I think you know that it's different, bro. I believe you know deep down that you know that this is different. And my point is that, hold up, What is this an agenda? No, for real. I gotta think. Hold up, what's up with Alex, man? Is this an agenda or what? Because you've been accused of a lot of stuff, bro, and I've defended you myself.
Well, what about
But
the 2018 indictments in Long Beach with the Longos as being a hate?
bro,
I mean,
bro,
what's the cutoff date to where we can say? First of all, when I look at history, I look at the context. When I look at Latinos and Mexicans in LA, I go back to the country of Mexico, which is a well documented history of racism in Mexico. So I have to understand that there's some generational things that happen with Mexicans.
Bro, we can go deep. I could bring up stuff too. My point is that you being in that place, that having that platform, you should have just used a little more wisdom than posting something that's gonna probably potentially, it's gonna inflame it. I believe that's my opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen. And I'm just saying, I'm looking at things, from my vantage point, and I'm looking and I'm like, hold up, why would Alex do this? That's my point. I know you're gonna defend yourself.
I'm gonna say I did it because I believe that there is some racial problems in Compton and Long Beach, two border cities. I do believe that there are about 3 or 4 Mexican gangs that are still pushing NK. If you need a 2024 photo of it, I'll make sure.
Do you want there to be peace between those neighborhoods?
Of course I do, but I know that's a very complicated thing to achieve.
Do you think that's going to help?
I think that not having the dialogue is not going to help.
Yeah, exactly. But you think like a post like that is going to help?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's your.
I believe you got to. I don't think we should sugarcoat it, and I don't think we should sweep it under the rug.
No, I don't believe we should sugarcoat it either. But we should be responsible, and we should use some wisdom on what we do. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? So. Either way, I mean, I know we have our own ways of seeing things. I'm just speaking. I don't know. Maybe I know you grew up in the neighborhood, right? But you weren't a neighborhood boy as far as like being from the hood, right? And so maybe me being from a neighborhood or coming from that, I kind of see it I kind of see it maybe a little bit differently. Maybe Spider and Munchie can speak on that. I don't know. I don't know if this is just me, but I don't know if I'm just tripping or. I don't think I am, but I mean, what do they think?
No. I get where you coming from. You saying that the post is basically kind of productive. A lot of shit can start from a post. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
About this NK thing, the Pearl thing, or whatever. So I get you on that, but I know it still exists. You know what I'm saying? But you saying posting that was just it's kind of productive. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
I can see your perspective from that point, that when Alex just read it, how it could just be like, we saying what's up with that, and that can go either way.
Yeah,
that was pretty. Response. Yeah. But I do think it's a conversation that may be needed to have. It might not need to be necessarily had in the public, though.
Yes. That's why I was like, man, I was sitting here thinking, and
I can tell you this, Isaac. Yeah. I believe it's far more damaging for those young Latino brothers from Compton Vadio to post that video than it is for me to do a reaction post to it. Of course. But none of y'all have criticized those 2 or 3 or 4 young men for doing that in the first place. That's my whole point.
That's what I feel is lacking highly, is the accountability.
You are quick to critique me, and I'm willing to accept the critique, but how are we going to skip over where all of this conversation started from some Latino guys from Compton Vadio, Tortilla Flats, which I'm convinced they are, just based by the way they wrote it.
They wrote it perfectly.
Yeah. And
I don't dispute that, but no, I understand what you're saying. There should be. I said that myself.
There should be more. Your criticism should be towards them first, and then you can bring it towards me. I want to shout out some other people. Dubs, he's not going to criticize them for doing anything, and neither is American Cholo.
He doesn't. Well, he's on his own. That's something else.
But these are guys that have big platforms. They have big voices coming from La Raza side.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want. That's a whole nother issue. I'm not even going to speak on that. But the point is that I'm talking about that individual. But no, I do see there's a big void as far as on our side people being at the table. But me or anybody criticizing or saying, "Oh man, the homie shouldn't have did that," it's kind of, how can I put it? Because it's a neighborhood thing and it's kind of confined to that. There's nothing. It's not gonna change nothing. Now if it was something like they were, because nobody was hurt, right? But let's say it was something like what happened, like with the vendors, like Spider mentioned. That was, and I'm saying the roles were reversed. Now, yeah, that I think, man, people need to speak up, just like we expect people to be held accountable. We got to do the same, man. We all know, a lot of us come from that prison life and jail life, and that's pretty much how it goes down. That's how it goes down. But I'm with you guys. I do agree that there needs to be more. That's why I said, I was sitting here, I was like, man, I was, even praying. I'm a man of faith, and I feel that tug, like, man, how could I get involved somehow? Because it takes a certain type of individual, and it takes courage to do something like that. Us Mexicans, we roll a lot differently, and so there is a little whatever that is, but because I'm already past a lot of that stuff. I've been, I was busted for murder. For those of you guys who don't know, I was in the county jail, LA County Jail, from 2008 to 2013. And by God's grace, I'm out. I got convicted of murder, and they overturned my conviction. I walked right out. But since I already kind of went through all that, yeah, I do feel that there may be a place where at least we could get it, at least even sit at the table with some blacks, even with like Skip and stuff like that. I believe there are good homies out there that have what it takes to at least sit down and have these discussions. But like Spider said, behind closed doors, man, not in out in the public, unless it's something that's progressing. I don't see nothing wrong with, hey, look what's happening here.
Yeah, we just had some behind closed doors like you describing. Skip was there. My hood, Inglewood Thresays, 18th Street, IVCs.
Shout out to that, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. Yeah, nah, I love that, man. I know Skip too, and I salute that. What you guys probably feel when you see that happening, whether it be the red side or the blue side, I'm the type of individual, I feel the same, bro, because I'm from LA. I got, I'm not just for Mexicans. I love my black brothers. We're all raised pretty much the same. We are different people, but we here together, man. And so, and just one last point. I think there are individuals and probably some type of alphabet people that might not like some of this stuff, and there may be some stuff that we got to watch out for, and we have to be on our toes about, and so I think that's important too. We got to be aware of that.
Yeah, I think the first thing we considered when we saw that graffiti, what was those really Tortilla Flats guys, or is this some sort of COINTELPRO 2.0? But we came to the conclusion that they were from the Flats.
Whether it was the style of way it was done, that never crossed my mind. I want to tell you this, Isaac. I appreciate the way you express yourself, because I was set to like really go in.
I already know.
Yeah, but once you started speaking, you made a lot of sense, brother. So I just appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate that, man. Salute to you, bro.
Likewise. Yeah, I second that.
All right. Last word, Isaac, before we let you go.
Man, I just appreciate you even calling me up, bro, and giving me a little time to just express that, man. I do feel, man, strong tug where I gotta do that, bro. And I respect all you guys, bro. I watch you guys, I listen to you guys, been following all of you for a long time. Salute to you guys, and I'm gonna continue praying for peace, man. A lot of this is spiritual.
Likewise.
A lot of this is spiritual. It all starts there, and the war is definitely right there, man, in that realm. And so I'm gonna keep doing that, and I hope you guys could join me in that, and let's keep it pushing, man.
Right on, Isaac.
Definitely. And for those who don't know, they could check out one of I believe it was your very first interview that we did back in what was that 17?
Yeah, 17. Yeah, one
And
of the. Yep.
and you can get a lot of his history and his background there, and learn about his case. And then you could also look up his case online. There's your case is actually case law, right?
Yeah, I have a case law. I believe I forget what it is. People versus Pedroza or something like that. When they reversed my conviction, the DA immediately tried to reverse it, sent it to the higher courts. I was already out, and they denied it, and they made a case law behind it. That double jeopardy. Once a judge overturns a murder for insufficient evidence, they can't take you back to trial. Otherwise, that would be double jeopardy with the same evidence. So yeah, that's what happened in my case. And those of you guys who want to maybe check out more too, I also got it's a little small YouTube channel, Righteous by Faith. Righteous by Faith. That's all you gotta type in, and there's a lot more stuff there. My interview with Alex as well. I got a couple interviews with him, and just different stuff like that.
And then your lawyer Alex Kessel is the one that got you that great
Man.
And I've been hearing his name in the media lately.
Shout out to Alex Kessel, man.
Who's he currently defending? If you know,
I know that he's defending Young Dopey. I heard him mention him. I forget who else. There's quite a few people. I don't know who else has them, but shout out to him, man. That dude. He went to battle for me, and I believe the Lord used him, man, to be my way out. You know.
Where Dopey from?
Dopey, you guys know Young Dopey from Inglewood, from 18.
Oh yeah, that's why I said that. Yeah, he was there the other day.
Okay, yeah, man.
Oh
Yeah, salute to him too, man.
All right, Isaac. I want to thank you for tapping in, and you're welcome to call in, and if you're local, you're always welcome to come pull up on us one day too.
Yeah, we got to do that one day, man. Salute to you guys once again, man.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. There he goes, Isaac Pedroza, formerly known as Sticks, from out of Lomas, which is a bona fide barrio out in the SGV.
Definitely.
What do you think?
I was surprised. He kind of threw me a little bit. I kind of see where he was coming from more than I expected to.
I definitely didn't mean to incite any sort of conflict by this post. I just was trying to make a point. Look, there's some issues. I don't want to just say Compton because it's Compton and Long Beach together. These two cities border each other, and there is some racial issues. It's definitely not widespread. We can sit here and give some great examples of neighborhoods where black and brown is not an issue, like in Watts, over here in the West Adams. There are other areas of LA, but we're talking about where there are problems. And right now, Compton and Long Beach is kind of the face of this conflict right now.
You made 0 invalid points. However, I believe in a more healthier setting would be somebody from the opposite side to be able to dialogue with you on those points, since it's a public statement, like he just did.
Yeah, and I did throw up some early 2000s photos just because that's all I had in my archive. But I later found a 2013 photo.
I apologize for the fact that you don't have any 2024 photos.
But does it really does it matter?
No, because I think if he's going to defend it by saying it's an old issue, then it matters. But if everybody acknowledge it still exists, then it doesn't necessarily matter.
But I don't think he's saying it's an old issue. He's saying it's an old photo. Right. Why use old photos, to make this point about what's going on in 2024?
Yeah, and I didn't want to feel like we was jumping on him, but I definitely want to establish that the word wetback is in no sense equivalently used like the N-word. It just doesn't happen.